Hey, I'm Jesse Broadwater.
And I'm Chelsea with the Pink Arrow Project.
Join together with us and other passionate archers from all around the globe
in the Taking Aim at Cancer Challenge 2018 to defeat cancer in my lifetime.
Dan McCarthy, Wisconsin.
Jack Wallace, Townville, South Carolina.
Andy Calloway, Midland, North Carolina.
Levi Morgan, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
Danny Evans, Monticello, Illinois.
Hey everybody, Greg Poole here at Bowjunky Media. We're at the 2018 ASA in Fort Benning, Georgia. It's time for the Open Pros, Darren.
My peeps.
This is your peeps, and I'll tell you what, after what we just heard from Jeff Hopkins, he says these will be his peeps again next year.
I'm surprised to hear that.
Absolutely.
If Jeff wins the rest of them, he gets used to that paycheck coming in. He may not want to leave.
I'm telling you, these guys come to full dry right here, and the wind starts gusting a good bit. We got Danny McCarthy at a 434, Jack Wallace at a 432, Andrew Calloway at a 430, Levi Morgan at a 28, and Danny Evans at a 24. So this should be a very interesting shoot down.
Levi's making it interesting right off the bat. Crazy guy.
Dan McCarthy with a 12. Danny McCarthy shoots a 12 right off the bat.
Surprises nobody.
At all. Jack Wallace on the long one. I think he's obviously just going to look to lay up here, I would think. 10 for Jack on the long one. That is definitely not a target to take a gamble on unless you have to.
10's really good on that black buck. The guys that were 12 on it, that's a gift.
10 for Andrew Calloway. I think Andy's going to need to, he may use that one to get calibrated, but he's going to need some rings.
Levi's got a way high right arrow.
8 for Levi Morgan, going for a
14
on that turkey. He's pretty much sending a message out there.
He may not back off the gas now.
Right. Yep, and he's got his game face on. He's not smiling. He's not.
That would have been huge if he'd have hit that, though.
It would have been. It would have been. All right, that's end number 1 in the Open Pro. Let's go to the PSE leaderboard. All right, Darren, here we go. This is the men's Open Pro Shootdown Fort Benning ASA. This weekend's coverage brought to you by PSE. Levi Morgan goes for a 14 on the turkey. His first shot gets an 8. But Danny McCarthy comes out right off the bat with a 12, which is pretty much what he needs to do. Danny, as like we talked about in the live feed earlier today, Danny McCarthy is very cerebral. He has lots of game plans, and obviously shooting that 12 on the first one was part of it.
Yeah, if he hits rings, then he has nothing to worry about. I don't know if these guys can catch him.
No doubt. For those of you that were watching the live feed here on Sunday, we launched the Bowjunky pre-cap. That's a preview of the shoot down and a recap of the shoot. Danny McCarthy looked like he broke a pretty good shot there on that long black buck. See what we got here. 10 for Levi Morgan. Looked like he was gunning for that one pretty hard. He's actually eyeballing Danny McCarthy's target down there. Andrew Calloway on the turkey. Closest target out here, as you can tell from a 10 for Andrew Calloway. The Vortex yardage graphic showing everybody what the distances are out there. For those of you wondering, we are not privy to those yardages. Jack Wallace with a 12 on the Wolf. We are not currently privy to those yardages for obvious reasons, but after the fact, 10 for Dan on the long one. But we are provided the yardages after the fact for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, and Dan did what he needed to do there, kept it at 10, but Jack 12 that Wolf and got that lead back down to just 2 points.
He did. 10 for Danny Evans. So let's go to the PSE leaderboard and see what Danny McCarthy has going on up there. All right, here we go, Darren. This is arrow number 3 in the Open Pro. This is Fort Benning ASA. Danny McCarthy, our leader, maintaining that lead. Jack Wallace hanging with him. Levi Morgan's been gunning for it, but he's kind of headed the wrong direction.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit some rings here to make his move, and he's on probably the second closest target now, that Russian boar, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a 14 here.
Absolutely, and our middle shooter there, our current leader, Danny McCarthy, on that wolf that has a fairly visible 14. You just never know if he feels like he needs to go for it or not. It'll be interesting to see.
I think he'll shoot a 12 on this wolf.
Definitely looks like Levi has some high right fletches down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Danny McCarthy holding for a long time on this.
He made a good, strong shot.
He did. Doesn't look like it's high right, so he definitely didn't go for the 14. Levi Morgan with an 8. Levi doesn't look super thrilled with that shot right there, but for all intents and purposes, that's gonna
He's
put
trying to
Levi.
win.
Yeah, oh yeah, but that's gonna put Levi in a tough spot.
Yeah,
and he knows it.
he does.
And so at this point, he just needs to decide if he wants to. 12 for Danny Evans on the long one. Good for Danny. So at this point, what's going through Levi's mind? Does he decide if he wants to keep mashing it or try to go for a podium spot now?
I think he's going to. The podium's
10
not
for
important.
Dan McCarthy.
Podium's not important to him. I think he'll 12 this black buck. And then he finishes on the wolf, I guess? Yes.
12 for Jack Wallace. Jack's not backing off. Jack's looking for the repeat.
Wow, Jack has got some serious game.
Andrew Calloway with a 10. So Andrew came into this shoot down with a very strong position. Needs to start getting some bonus rings. Let's head to the PSE leaderboard. All right, Darren, here we go. This is arrow number 4. It's Greg Poole with Bowjunky Media with our commentating cohort, Elite Pro Staff Manager Darren Christianberry. Been some pretty good shoot downs so far. Right now, we're looking at Danny McCarthy and Jack Wallace pretty much battling it out for this spot. Levi Morgan's been super aggressive. It just hasn't paid off yet.
The only thing separating Danny and Jack right now are bonus rings, and that doesn't mean anything for first place.
So Levi has a tall arrow on that long buck down there. Curious to see what things look like. Look right here. All right, Jack Wallace, 10. 10 for Jack Wallace. Looked like he broke a good shot right there, though. Dan McCarthy seems to be just doing what he needs to do here. 10 for Danny McCarthy.
Jack's got this upper 12 game figured out. He plays a lot of uppers on the course, plays a lot of uppers in the shoot down, and he's got it figured out.
He absolutely does. 10 for Danny Evans. Danny hit a 12 on that long one, which is good to see. Comes back with a 12 on the wolf there. Black buck for Levi Morgan with another 8. Levi was definitely not coming in here to finish anything but first.
No, he's going to 14 this wolf right here, I think.
Upper 12 on the Russian boar. 12 for Andrew Calloway. Good to see him start getting a ring there. So let's go to the PSE leaderboard, and it looks like we got Danny McCarthy and Jack Wallace in a battle for the win. All right, here we go, people. This is number 5 arrow in the Open Pro here at Fort Benning ASA. This shoot down has been what we expected at the top. Levi Morgan did exactly what we thought he would do, which was go for it. Just hasn't panned out. He shot 3/8. Probably going to go for a 14 right here, but might be little too late.
Yeah, he's aggressive, and he's out here to win, and I don't blame him for what he did. You just have to catch some breaks and be a little bit lucky, and I don't know if he got either.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's what he was saying today, that he was just a quarter of an inch, and he just gesturing right there to his umbrella holder. Just a smidgen he's talking about. So then that was pretty much the story of his day. Jack Wallace hits another upper 12.
Wow.
Things are getting exciting here, Darren.
This is crazy good.
10 for Andrew Calloway. Levi Morgan's out there looking down intently, but I think he kind of knows what the math looks like here.
I don't think Levi can make the shoot down even with a 14.
Be good for the crowd, though. They'll like to see it.
He got it.
14 for Levi Morgan. Not sure if that's going to make Levi feel any better, but he got it anyway.
He did.
14 for Danny Evans on the turkey. Good for Dan.
That's a good shot right there.
Here we go. Danny McCarthy.
Dan needs a 12 to match Jack's 12.
He does right now, and we're heading into the last arrow.
He's got it.
12 for Dan McCarthy. Jack Wallace down there nodding with a smile on his face. He knows. Jack knows. And look at Dan. Dan you can't.
I'll say it again. Dan McCarthy hits him when he has to.
He absolutely does. So here we go, folks. Let's go to the PSE leaderboard and see who's moving on to the 6th arrow. All right, Darren, here we go. This is the 6th and final arrow in the Men's Open Pro at the 2018 Fort Benning ASA. This weekend's coverage brought to you by PSE. Levi Morgan, as you saw from the PSE leaderboard there, finishes in the 5th spot. We have Dan McCarthy and Jack Wallace at 488s. We have Andrew Calloway and Danny Evans at 482s. As Darren referenced earlier, none of those are going to be broken with bonus rings.
No.
So we could keep going here. This is an interesting dynamic because Danny has historically made these shots when he needs to make these shots, but Jack Wallace is on fire right now.
Jack, his confidence is soaring. He's one of the best yardage judges ever, and his stuff's working. So he gets to shoot first, so Danny's going to know what he has to do. But
does he get to shoot first, or does he get to choose which?
McCarthy will get to shoot first, and the only way that will change is if we get into 7th, 8th, 9th, alternate positions.
Okay, because I know when he won last time, he forced Dan to shoot first. In Foley.
With Dan having the lead going into this arrow with the lead on bonus rings, Danny will, I assume, have to shoot last.
Okay. Have to shoot last, yes, absolutely correct.
Yes.
But in Foley, they went to extra arrows.
And he gave him the choice.
Yeah.
He did, right.
Yep.
Yep.
Jack said he wanted to know what he had to do. So here we go. We got Andrew Calloway, this is for a check.
This is for the podium.
Yep, this is for a check.
If he 14s it, it could be for more than that.
Absolutely, and
It's
they
a
are
tiny
on the heavy down
It's
there.
a tiny 14, though.
They are on that. Well, these are the Open Pros for a reason.
Yeah.
I can't see anything on that heavy down there. Well, I'm not even sure if our cameras are going to be able to get to it. There we go. An 8 for Andy Calloway. It's a good weekend for him.
Another
right
strong
there.
showing for Andy.
Yep.
Andy's got his A game going right
He
now.
does. He absolutely does. So Dan Evans just needs to shoot a 10 here to get on the podium. Really no reason for him to do anything but.
If he shoots a 14 and hits it, he's still 12 points behind the leaders if they shoot 10s.
Right.
So he might, if he wanted to try the 14, but it's so tiny and they're a pretty good distance. I don't know what we're looking at here, but probably 30 34, 35 yards. I'm just guessing. I don't
Well,
have the numbers, but
The Vortex yardage graphic will be letting them know right
Yeah,
on screen,
yeah,
but we're not privy to it.
I'm judging horizontally here and have no idea. But I would think he'll shoot safely at the 12, at least get a 10, and that's really the best he could do right now.
All right, here we go. Dan Evans historically takes a good bit to before his shot goes off, which in this gusty wind can be good, can be bad. But I see the wind moving flags and trees, but I don't see it moving much on the field.
No, his bow's good shape.
Yep. Looks like a good solid center shot right there. Let's see what we got here. 10. So Dan Evans is going to finish third in the Open Pro Division at the 2018 Fort Benning ASA. So here we go. We got the guy looking to repeat, and the guy looking to not get repeated on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds that in back-to-back 3D events you're going to have Dan McCarthy and Jack Wallace doing the same thing?
And Jack's going to call upper, and Jack's probably going to hit it.
Yeah, Jack, as on cue, on Darren's cue, Jack turns and gives the thumbs up for the upper.
Yeah.
Dan McCarthy gives no indications of emotion one way or another.
He's going to know what he has to do, but I anticipate Jack hits this 12 and forces Danny to hit a ring. So,
okay,
that's my guess.
Well, based on historical data, I don't see any reason why he would not be able to.
No. Jack looks pretty comfortable out there.
Oh, he does. He's got that PSE rolling, man.
And he knows how far this target is, so if he can see a good spot to aim, he'll probably 12 it.
He does. He's got that wrist strap caliper release dialed. Looks like Jack Wallace, from his reaction and the reaction of the crowd, he's happy with that. And that's going to be a 12 for Jack Wallace.
Wow.
Darren Nostradamus Christianberry calls it. Absolutely calls it. So what do you got here? Does Christianberry follow suit? Does he go for the 14 for the win?
No, he's going to try to shoot a 12, and McCarthy hits him when he has to. So
Jack is fired up.
Yeah, he is. He knows that could be the winning shot. You know, Danny, the pressure's on him. I don't know that he's feeling a lot. He just knows he has to 12 this to continue.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. This is I'm tense.
Yeah.
I'm tense. I find myself sitting here just gripping this microphone as tight as I can hold it and just.
I don't care who wins. I want to see Dan win. I want to see Jack win. But it'd be really cool to see Jack come out and win the first two.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's a good story.
It is. Danny McCarthy just asked, what happens if I shoot a 5?
Yeah, that would put him at 493, which would secure him second place.
So no matter what, this is win or lose or shoot for a tie.
If he goes for the 14 5, he still takes.
Danny McCarthy just asked Mike Terrell, what happens if I shoot a 5? What do you think just went through Jack Wallace's mind?
Jack's probably happy because the 14's way smaller than the 12.
But it is Danny McCarthy.
But if Dan hits the 14, game over. He wins.
Absolutely. So I guarantee Jack was like, what?
Yeah, if Danny's got a good spot to aim at, he knows how far it is, too.
Mm-hmm.
Can he hit it? Heck yeah, he can. Will he shoot at the 14? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, once again, the wind seems to not really be.
That's a lot of wind. I think he'll
there
let
comes
this
some
down.
wind right there. The leaves at his feet are actually moving.
He's going to let this shot down.
Yeah, the wind's getting pretty stiff right here. And the sound of the wind coming through the trees has got to be a factor too. But since Dan transferred over to that hinge,
that's too long.
He absolutely has increased his shot timing. But this is going a bit long. As we say that, it clicks and breaks into a 14. That shot looks a little bit low. Let's take a gander. And a 10. So Jack Wallace will be your 2018 ASA Fort Benning champion, back-to-back ASA champion. This is your Bowjunky Media shot of the shootdown from the 2018 ASA in Fort Benning, Georgia, in the men's Open Pro Division. And the shot of the shootdown is?
Jack Wallace's 12 on the final target on the javelina, which forced Dan McCarthy to have to hit a ring to tie. Dan only ended up hitting a 10, and Jack took the win with that 12.
All right, everybody, Greg Poole here with Bowjunky Media. Take two, Greg Poole here with Bowjunky Media, bowjunkymedia.com. We are here with your repeat ASA champion in the men's Open Pro, Mr. Jack Wallace, number 2. That was pretty stout, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a fun shoot-down round. Good group of guys to be with. That I was happy with it.
Absolutely. So talk to us about that, about number 1 coming into a last arrow once again with Danny McCarthy. Here you are, and you hit it.
Man, we go way back. Danny brought it up today. He goes, I was with you at my first pro shoot, 2004, Florida, February. And I said, I remember. And we got down to the final target, and Danny needed a 10 to beat me, and he did, in the shoot-off. So we've been playing it a long time. And I actually got drawn to shoot with Danny all weekend. It was a great weekend, great group of guys. And I know that I made some things that I made some mistakes I can do better, like starting so slow today, like I told you. But, man, I never left the 10 ring this entire weekend, including the shoot-off. I know nobody knows that, but I shot a clean round. I never shot out of the 10. So.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with your training and your mentality, and you are absolutely hitting on all cylinders right now.
I looked in the mirror there about, about 8 weeks back, and I thought, I'm getting a little thick. I'm getting a little too thick, So I started changing my eating routine a little bit, and I backed off the CrossFit a little bit, just little injury stuff. I still lift, love to lift, but I'm not doing that quite as hard. But I've changed eating a lot, and have been cutting a lot of weight fairly quickly. So I think that's helped. I think my cardio's a little better. I think my hold's a little better. All that's making the confidence go up. So if I keep doing my shooting work, and I keep doing my yardage practice and work my game plan, I figured good things would happen.
Absolutely. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.